Good blessed Wednesday, July the 29th, 2020. Time for a change, time for vision. I like to greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. Not man, but the blessings of God be with you. Next week, Tuesday, August the 4th, 2020, is a very important election here in Charleston, Missouri, in Mississippi County. It's two individuals running for sheriff. One is Brent Farrell, the present sheriff, and one is Keith Moore, who's running against Brent Farrell. And the reason why I said it's an important election is when you have law enforcement officials, especially top law enforcement official. The sheriff is a top law enforcement official in a county. The only one supersedes him next is the highway patrol, the state highway patrol. But the sheriff, he has more power than the police chief. But when you have a sheriff and a police chief that's like this, and they won't go against each other when they wrong, especially when you're talking about racism, when you're talking about injustice against anybody. I want to take you back to 1958 when I was born. Look at this real good. You see what this thing says? It says, damn the law down here. We make our own law. And this is the Public Safety Commissioner, Eugene Bull Connors. That was in 1958. He was the safety commissioner for 22 years, y'all. 22 years. Look at this again. And I'm going to tell you how this coincides with this present sheriff and his present chief of police. The chief of police down here been the chief of police for over maybe 20 something or maybe 30 years. He been on the force, but he on the force because his family had connections like Bull Connor. His uncle was the governor here. Warren E. Hearns was the governor here in the state of Missouri. Warren E. Hearns' wife, Betty Hearns, was a Missouri state representative. That's how Bobby Hearns got the position he got. But this was Bobby Hearns and the chief and the sheriff of the Mississippi County here in Charleston, Missouri. This is what they say about the laws. Damn the law down here. We make our own laws. Bull Connor, if y'all don't know who he was, Bull Connor was an individual that dealt with the Jim Crow law. In other words, blacks didn't have no rights according to him. You see what I'm saying? And I'm going to show you something. Keith Moore versus the present sheriff, Brent Farrell. We're going to go outside, but I want y'all to look at this again. And I'm going to show you why I say they make their own laws like Bull Connor. You see, I was assaulted on June the 9th, 2020. Didn't do nothing but sitting up here at an establishment called Boomland, talking to another individual right outside after I got through shopping. Video cameras would show an individual, I'm 62, an individual about 43 years old, got out of his truck, came over there where I was, tried to say something to me, and I didn't pay him no attention, and he just got to swinging on me, beating on me. The police, Charleston, Missouri police, never showed up. They showed up at my house after I left that establishment about 40-something minutes later. I gave them 2 witnesses to talk to. This is July the 29th, 2020. Next month it'll be 2 months. They never talked to neither one of my witnesses. They say, damn the law down here. We make our own laws. The chief of police who has a right and has the authority to take a police report straight to the state's attorney's office and present a case, but they didn't do that. When you assault an elderly person or a child, that's a felony. That's a felony assault. Just that same month in June, a black guy that was 27 years old assaulted a 12-year-old boy, and he left, but they got a picture of him just like the camera with mine. They knew who he was, and they put a warrant out for him for felony assault. Now, how is it in the same state, 45 miles away, that they get a felony assault on a black guy, 27 years old, for assaulting a 12-year-old white guy? Now, if I was in Cape Girardeau where this white guy got assaulted, it would have been felony charges. Had I been in Sikeston, Missouri, or any place else except Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County, up under this present sheriff, Brent Farrell, and up under this present chief of police, Robert Bobby Hearns, both of them go to the same church together, it would have been a felony assault. But this paperwork is still sitting on the chief of police desk, waiting to be signed and approved from the chief of police. But he ain't signed it yet because he got a history with me, because I go up against white supremacists, which he is. This same sheriff, when he was elected, when he was going for election last year, I voted for him. And when I voted for him, individuals was verbally assaulting me and using his name, and he went and told them, sent somebody to tell them to stop using his name. Let's go outside for a minute, y'all. He told them to stop using his name. But he didn't tell them nothing about harassing me and coming by my house. Also, him and his wife, the sheriff and his wife, invited me and my two daughters over to their church. And then invited my two daughters, they was 13 and 14 then, to come to their after school program. And my daughters and them went, and the little white children discriminated against my two daughters. And I told the the sheriff, and guess what? This was February of 2019. He never said anything about it. What do that tell you? It's important, y'all, to vote for Keith Moore if you want justice for all. If you don't want justice for all, then you vote for Brent Farrell. You see what I'm saying? You notice how he put a sign right next door to my house? But now, since I'm voting against Brent Farrell, guess what I've been getting? I've been getting threats. I got physically assaulted. The police or the sheriff didn't do nothing about it. No court date or nothing. People getting on my YouTube channel saying that they got a tree with my name on it. People getting on my YouTube video telling me to get out of Charleston. If y'all want change, see, the people that's in authority now, some of these preachers, NAACP members, some of them, some of these people with these government grant funds, you see, they voting for Brent Farrell because Brent Farrell joined the NAACP last month. And you don't see him doing nothing concerning the NAACP. NAACP is supposed to be the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. But it ain't the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People down here in Charleston, Missouri, Mississippi County. It's for the advancement of certain people. The big time farmers, if your shoe fit, wear it. The chief of police, the present sheriff, NAACP, some of these black and white preachers. And I ain't gonna say no more, but on August the 4th, 2020, next week, Tuesday, vote for Keith Moore if y'all looking for change. If you want these same people that's in authority with this grant money and all this other mess, and they can't solve no murders in the daytime, y'all. No murders. Just had a murder in Sikeston, Charleston, Missouri, Cape Girardeau, Missouri. These people done got people in custody already. It's been a week. Cape Girardeau, Sikeston, Missouri, same thing. Charleston, Missouri, you got murders that don't even be solved.
You got elder people being assaulted and no charges against them. It all depends who you is. Peace be still.